I used to watch BET, MTV, VH1, now I watch Tempo. Soca, Calypso, Reggae Dancehall. Don't stall, better get tuned in to the tempo. Don't have cable, they got an app. Go to your app store, download that. Whether it's tourism, cuisine, or the social scenes, if it ain't Tempo, it's a rap. Who got the Caribbean views? Tempo. Mr. Latest in Caribbean news? Tempo. You tryna cook Caribbean food? Tempo. You know they got the music videos too. Tempo. Who got the Caribbean views? Tempo. Mr. Latest in Caribbean news? Tempo. You tryna cook Caribbean food? Tempo. You know they got the music videos too. Tempo.
Wow. Freedom right now means the ability to do what we actually set out to do without, any prohibitions, without any, man-made hurdles.
By the end of the Almighty, we forward in this generation.
And so uniting our region, letting us see each other and understanding that together we are actually much stronger. Continuing to spread that unification. All these various islands we haven't been yet that just dying to feel the tempo. We're gonna go give it to them.
Redemption song. Redemption song.
I always remember Frederick being, just from a very early age, very smart. When he got older, he became very popular. He was Mr. DJ, Mr. Entertainer, always dancing, always dancing.
I'm sitting here at MTV Networks, and I'm thinking to myself, well, Caribbean people have contributed so much to the world and to world pop culture. I started to think about all of that, and I was like, wow, these are all the things that make great television.
It's exciting, very exciting. I always figure he would do something like this. I never know to what extent he would be, but he always had the potential to do something like this.
From that moment, I knew that Tempo was going to be something special, something new, something different, because there was this confident, easygoing, proud black brother. He got right into it, told me all about what he had in mind, all about what his visions and his dreams were. I was hooked, line and sinker.
For me, Tempo is really embody the Caribbean, not just the music and just the videos, but it's the life on different islands.
He was the main person that pushed me and supported me, and if it weren't for that push, I probably wouldn't have hosted up until now.
In the short time that I've been here, almost a year and a half that I've been here at Tempo, I have really seen how hard you work, and I can only imagine how much work you have put in over these past 15 years.
Because I believe that I've been ordained to do what I'm doing, and that is to put my fist up and say Caribbean is the most extraordinary place on earth.
That is a piece to describe our special guest in the studio. No stranger to the U.S. Virgin Islands. He's a son of the soil, a native Virgin Islander born on St. Croix to Navisian parents. He has literally has taken a concept from its infancy to what it is today. And it's no small task. It is no small feat what he did. And let me tell you why I say that. When you think of the entertainment space, when you think of people like Beyonce and Rihanna and all the giants, when you think of the contribution of the Caribbean diaspora and Caribbean Americans, how we've helped to mold and shape this country. To put things in perspective, Rihanna, if she's not the richest, she is one of the top 3 richest entertainers in the world. Okay? Rihanna from Barbados, young lady, when you talk about her earnings and how much money she makes, Rihanna makes more money than anyone in the entertainment business. And this is a young lady from Barbados. I say that to say that's the talent side of the business. Now, most of us know all of the major broadcast and major entertainment brand. The business of entertainment is a space where we literally occupy very little of. And so the business of entertainment is where, when you talk about the accomplishment of Frederick Morton, where he has built a mainstream brand in primetime, broadcasting throughout the United States, throughout the Caribbean, and in South America, he has literally succeeded for the past 15 years in developing a successful media company. And I want to welcome Mr. Temple himself. He is also known, he has got an honorary doctorate degree. He is an attorney. He reminds me of a Jamaican. You know them Jamaican, got like
25 jobs. 25 jobs.
He has all these titles, but at the end of the day, it just speaks to the magnitude, to the breadth of this man's talent and capability. And he's our guest. I'm proud to call him friend, proud to call him partner, proud to call him family. Welcome back to the marketplace here on JumpStart, live on WSDX 970 AM radio, live on the Callaloo Network, live on JumpStart TV, live on La Mega Mundial, and live on several social media. Frederick, welcome to the program.
Well, it's great. It's great. Well, welcome back. Yeah, but it's great to be here.
So you were just awarded a very prestigious award, and I have to read it because I don't want to do it any injustice. So you were the recipient of the Institute of Caribbean Studies Caribbean American History Trailblazer Award, a distinction that was presented at the 27th Annual Caribbean American Heritage Award Gala that was held on Friday, November 20th, 2020. The acronym for the Institute of Caribbean Studies Caribbean American Heritage is called CARA Awards Gala, which is held under distinguished patronage of the Caribbean Diplomatic Corps, celebrates the achievement of the Caribbean American community and the contribution that Friends of the Caribbean makes in support of Caribbean American interests. The CARA Award has come to be recognized as the premier celebration of the Caribbean American community, when the Caribbean Americans and Friends of the Caribbean celebrates all that is good about who we are and where we come from. Now, to understand the company in which Frederick Morton is now a part of, when you look at the former CARA attendees and honorees, they have included Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell of Grenada, Prime Minister Kenny Anthony of St. Lucia, Prime Minister Owen Arthur of Barbados, Congresswoman Barbara Lee, Democrat of California, Congresswoman Elliot Engel Democrat from New York, Earl Graves, the founder of Black Enterprise. We have Garth Fagan, Tony Award-winning choreographer, which is of Jamaican heritage, the legendary Cicely Tyson of Kittian heritage, Rita Marley, reggae icon, Jamaican Bert Mitchell, founder of the top Black-owned accounting firm Mitchell and Titus, Sir Edward Chin, NASA scientist of Aruban heritage, Barbados-born Dr. Velma Scantlebury, kidney transplant surgeon Michael Lee Chen of Jamaican heritage, and Edwidge Decant, author of the Haitian heritage. These are just some of the people that Frederick is now in company with in terms of receiving this very prestigious, distinguished award. And I want to say congratulations, Frederick, on your
congratulations as well. And as my grandparents would say, you standing in some hot cotton.
Yeah. That's for sure. That's for sure. It was,
how does it feel, man? How does it feel, man? How does it feel? How does it feel to you have your honorary doctorate as well? How does it feel? I mean, there's no stopping you, man. I mean, you're like this. There ain't no stopping us now. I mean, you're just doing it, man.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm gonna ask, what's next? Like, this is
well,
legendary already, right? So we can only look for you to go up.
Right. Well,
no pressure.
I know, right? You know, I gotta stop to just pause and give thanks to the Almighty, you know,
That's
because
right.
what, yeah, you know what all of this means is that He fulfills promises and He answers prayers, and when He sets you on course, He stays with you and guides you. And when you're in the hills and the valleys, or the triumphs and defeats, He's always there to dry your eye. He's there to raise you up. And so everything that was just mentioned, all honor and glory to Him.
That's right.
So we will say that.
Okay.
And then He also says that He will send people to assist in what it is that He has put His hands on. So
right.
He then said, yeah, you know, so when David was to build a temple, for example, of God, right? God said, no, you can't build it because you have too much blood on your hands.
That's
You went
right.
on foreign wars, and I don't want you to build it. I want your son to build it, right? And Solomon said, but Dad, I can't build this thing. I don't know how am I going to build this thing? And David said to his son, listen, you're going to build it. And you know, do not be afraid, because the good Lord will be with you. But importantly, He's going to send people from all around the place, all over the place, to assist you in building it.
That's right.
And so I want to also say thanks and give the credit to a lot of folks that have been with me over the years, right? So from my parents, who Anthony knows very well, who are with me thick and thin through everything, through challenge, triumph, everything, to my family, to those that have been in the organization, those who have come and gone, those who are still here with me for, I have people on the staff that have been with me for a decade, over a decade. And, you know, so I want to say that none of anything that you just mentioned is me alone, right?
Right. It's like you're not doing it in a silo. Absolutely. That's
None
right.
of it, right?
Right.
I feel like, you know, I've been ordained to do this. I'm in my purpose and my calling. And the good Lord has put folks around me and has folks entered into my life and entered into this journey at various times that allowed all of these things to happen, you know? So I received the Trailblazer Award, and I was very I was very humbled by it. I was honored by it. It's one thing to continue to toil and to do the work. It's quite another thing for somebody to say, I recognize you for toiling and all of those on all the work that you did, right? So I was very, very pleased. And what Trailblazer means ultimately, we all know this, is that you're blazing a path that wasn't there before. You're cutting through some stuff that wasn't there before. So what it means is you got, you know, the forest analogy, you're going through and you're dealing with all the vines and the trees and the snakes and the alligators and the quicksand, and you can't even see this, you know, sort of visibly see. You just know that it's that at the end of this, there's going to be a lot of glory, and there's going to be a lot of glory for a lot of people, because you're now blazing a trail and making it a little bit easier for some other folks to come. The artists, our destinations, our unity, our psyche, our mentality, you know, our pride. You're making it a little easier, you know. So I'm cutting through. I got some folks cutting through with me, and it was really just good and really amazing to be honored in that way. So what next? What next? That's
right.
I just got to keep going, because we got a lot. We got a lot.
You have a choice. That's right. You're blazing trails, so you got to continue to do that, right?
That's right. I got to continue.
It's more than just blazing trails.
Yeah, they've raised the bar. You have literally risen the bar for yourself, but by others as well. I mean, when you think of some of the iconic names that was mentioned, not just heads of state, you're talking about some of the iconic names like Cicely Tyson.
I know.
You know, it's Garth Fagan, founder of Black Enterprise.
Earl Grey.
These are the caliber. Sir Edward Chin, NASA scientist. I mean, you're hanging out with scientists. What is this? You know? I know. And the legendary Marley family. When you're talking about Rita Marley, being one of the recipient as well. I mean, you're in great company, my friend.
Yes. I again, I'm humbled by the company that I'm in, and I feel, I'm going to be honest with you both, Anthony and Terry. I feel like I haven't, and this is a problem that I have. A lot of folks have told me this. I don't really stop to acknowledge and to recognize sometimes what I've done and what has happened. I never stop, because I'm always thinking about what's next, what's next. And so I've been forced these days, some folks around me are forcing me to stop and recognize what you are saying, right? Because there is value in stopping and recognizing what you've done. But I will be honest with both of you and say that I feel most of the times like I've only scratched the surface.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I feel most of the times that, like, I mean, we have real work to do, and that, I guess the best analogy that I could bring forth is that I do believe, and I will acknowledge that we've built a great foundation.
That's a great way to put it. The foundation.
Yeah, and we have dug the foundation very deep. So the deeper the foundation, if we talk in construction terms, let's say,
stability,
is the taller the building, it's the taller the structure.
Stability, yeah.
Yeah, so I will acknowledge that we have 15 years of, and really, if you look at all the work that was done in that 15 years, it's almost like 30 years of work done in 15 years, So we have dug a foundation that is very deep, which means that when we start to go up, and some telling me that we're already going up, right? When that building starts to go up,
that's right.
Yeah, we know that building is going to be very strong. It's built for longevity. It's going to be tall. It's going to reach the heavens, and it's going to have a lot of room for all of us,
That's right.
And so, so that's how I feel. I feel like we've dug a great foundation, and now we're starting to put the bricks on going up, and
awesome. That's good. That's really, really good stuff. I mean, you in your testimony, again, you're talking about some really critical things for the listening audience to think about, right? Because we're here on the marketplace, and we're JumpStart TV, and we're giving them the tools and tips. So we talked about your network. You said you can't do it alone. You're not in a silo. You're operating with your network, and your network is along the way, your family, your team. And it's important for small business owners to understand that your strength is in your network. Your strength is really in your network. And that's one of the things that you talked about. The other thing is just like you talked about, okay, I blazed the trail. I'm a trailblazer, but I continue to blaze the trail. So not only will I continue to blaze the trail, I'm going to now put my footprints on the moon when we build this foundation as strong as it can be to give everyone access. So you're not afraid to take that risk. You're not afraid to step out on faith without seeing the complete trail, right? Dr. King talked about you don't have to see the complete staircase. You don't have to see the complete trail to understand that you're going in the right direction and you're being led by your passion, your heart, and of course the Almighty, right? So those are all really, really strong foundational nuggets that the listening audience can use to build their foundation in whatever industry they're choosing to be in. And just by tuning in now to the marketplace, they have those testimonies. They have an opportunity to, we have on the marketplace, you can actually come in and you can put your product up and sell from the marketplace. We're jumpstarting the economy on JumpStart TV. So those are all wonderful things that we're sharing today. But more importantly, Tempo is a partner, and not just a partner, a strategic partner, and all that we're doing today. So again, I'm thanking you for all that you're giving to me personally, because I'm writing it down. I got my little notebook on here.
I want to take a different lens on what really prepared you for where you are today. And the reason why this is so important is because we have saturated the talent pool when it comes to entertainment, whether it's music, whether it's film, whether it's sports. We've done well. Okay, we've dominated, if you will. The business part we haven't. And so when I look at your CV, okay, how much of your time as an attorney at the prestigious New York law firm of Simpson, Thatcher, and Bartlett, where you worked where you represented numerous Fortune 500 companies. It says here, your stature rose even further when you became a senior corporate counsel for Johnson & Johnson and then joined Viacom. So before you joined Viacom, you were a senior corporate attorney with Johnson & Johnson.
Of course,
how much of your legal background really equipped you and prepare you for what you have created for the past 15 years, Frederick?
Preparation. Okay.
Yeah,
Preparation.
yeah. See, and that's why I know I'm in my calling, because I didn't. How would you really know that that was really preparing you for that moment?
Right.
Bringing forth a product like this, right? But that's exactly what happened. The answer to your question, Anthony, is that there is no way that I could have conceived, developed, produced, sustained this network to 15 years to this conversation without that background.
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely. That's what I thought. I think that played a huge role just from the business aspect to be able to take it to where you've taken it for 15 years.
Yeah, let me tell you, let's say I was fortunate enough to get it started, right? Yeah. And quite frankly, the legal background was how I got it started, right? So within MTV Networks, I was the head of litigation, the head lawyer. When this idea came to me and sort of gelled, I had to use my legal background in order to get it to get the green light within MTV. To get the contracts that were needed in order to convince MTV to launch the network. I had to go out and get those contracts done. I couldn't possibly do that and negotiate those level types of contracts without the legal background. But let's just say for a moment that I could have done it without the legal background. Then Tempo starts, right? And then there's a million contracts that need to be negotiated, right? You got a contract with your satellite provider, you got a contract with your artist, you got a contract, intellectual property agreements all over the place. If I didn't have that background, guess what? I'd have to hire a whole bunch of lawyers, right? Which is a tremendous bill, as you could imagine. And if I had to do that, let's say on a continuous basis, there's no way, right? Because that type of bill for a startup company wouldn't work, right? So here I am, I'm able to go into a situation, going to negotiate my own agreements, negotiate my contracts. Yes, I have outside attorneys, but I'm able to tell them exactly what I want. They know that when they give it to me, it has to make sense what they're telling me, because they know I'll immediately say, well, that doesn't make sense, right? So so all along the way up to the moment in which I speak, and then it gives you legal thinking, gives you a way of thinking and solving problems in business that is a little different than normal. So I approach a lot of issues and a lot of relationships in a certain way that helps to facilitate agreements and help to facilitate things that if I didn't have it, it wouldn't work. Then I'll just top it off. The entire entertainment industry is about contracts and agreements and about, it's all about that. Yes. It's built on a foundation of negotiation. And so if I didn't have that, we wouldn't be talking.
Right.
Yeah. I'm glad that Terry, I wanted to kind of extract that out of him because
I don't talk about it much, right?
The business part of any industry is where it's hard to get into the old boys network.
Yes.
And unless you come from that, unless you have that orientation, you're not going to know how to literally strategically, penetrate that.
Right.
And I think it speaks volume to his ability to take it to where it is today. Because for a layman person, they couldn't have done that.
Right.
I will say this. I'll add to that and say that I am a left brain, right brain person. So sometimes they work in tandem. Sometimes it conflicts. Sometimes I'm in a moment of dysfunctional because of or dysfunction because of the two. But most of the times they work really well together, right? So I'm artistic, right? So I could sit and I could write a song. And when I was a kid, that's probably what I would have wanted to do. But my parents were like, yeah, they were like, listen,
education.
Yes. So they said, listen, you got to go and do this.
Hey, you can write that, but we need you to finish this.
Pretty much. So what happened is now I was able to get, I was able to marry the two. So I have an understanding, and that's why I was successful as a lawyer in the entertainment world, because I can understand the creative mindset. So I was able to deal with talent in a way and still have the business and legal side. So it helped to solve a lot of problems. I mean, I always talk about that when I was there was a case that Johnny Cochran brought against MTV. It's the best example I could use. He brought this case against MTV. That's when I met him, and he ultimately became a mentor of mine. But he brought a case against MTV on behalf of Spike Lee. And he basically sued MTV when they launched a channel called Spike TV. And Spike Lee believed that it was infringing on his brand. Right. So I was able to help solve that problem. And so a lot of folks said I went up against Johnny, so I accept it.
He said, all right, where's your shoulder?
Yeah. Let me just accept that one.
What's the famous saying? If it doesn't fit,
you
must quit. You must quit, right? Oh my goodness.
Absolutely.
Well, Frederick, I got to tell you, I want to thank you so much. And we have another Caribbean American to celebrate in the culinary space, and he's no stranger, of course. You know who he is, Chef Irie. He's going to be in the program. And our colleague Jessica is going to be talking to him. But before, just to close out, I want to just say that when we talk about the future and going forward, I've always often shared with you two things. I see Tempo as a game changer in terms of one of those really big household name in media up there with the rest of them. You and I have talked about that during the early stage, and we continue to talk about that. But I also want to publicly say thank you for giving this show the opportunity to air on Tempo on a weekly basis. And we have been airing the marketplace for the past several years on the platform. But I want to be able to say publicly thank you for allowing the marketplace to be one of the programs offered on Tempo, because you respect the business space. And so it just speaks testimony to your commitment, not just to the entertainment aspect, but to understanding the business dynamic as well. And that's what we talk about. Thank you for that. And so can we say to the people of the Virgin Islands, you and I talked about often, that every island has a major event that everybody talks about. Mm-hmm. I still believe that the Tempo event should and can be that major event that has to take place, that St. Croix should claim. And when we talk about what you've done in the past, those monster events, that we can, when things come back to normal, can we go back to the drawing board to be able to say, let's give St. Croix an entertainment event on an annual basis that, like every other island, that we can say, you know what, we have our own, and people are going to flock from all over the planet to come to St. Croix because of the Tempo event.
Yeah, well,
no pressure.
Well, listen. Well, the reason, to some extent, the answer is in Anthony's question. Because Anthony very well knows that would be for me a dream come true, right? And the reason that, other than the fact that, I'm a son of the soil, a major reason for all those events at the beginning of the network, the first 5-6 years in the Virgin Islands, and in particular in St. Croix, was to plant the seed for that, right? So the seed's been planted. You know,
There you go. There you go. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
We just
Do
need
it,
to
man.
water it now, right?
Right.
We need to water it and put some topsoil on it and some fertilizer.
I'm going to commit to talking to Governor Bryan. I'm going to commit to talking to Governor Bryan
Please.
to be able to start the process to put the
Yes.
building blocks on that foundation you've laid. How about that?
Indeed.
And I'll commit to attending.
All right.
Well, Anthony,
Governor Bryan and Commissioner Joe Bisholti will get in the same room and we'll talk about planning and sketching that out. Okay.
and listen, much respect for you to do that. That's what's needed. And quite frankly, this is the time to do it. If we start our planning now, man, we could come out with that. Post-COVID, people traveling a little bit, we would be ready. That would be the announcement.
Let's do it.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
So the
Thank you,
time
man.
is
Thank
now,
you so
brother.
much. We've eaten up our colleague Jessica time just a little bit. She's
All right,
gonna,
all right.
kill me. But anyway, we're looking forward to hanging out with Chef Irie to talk nothing but food. Irie man, just talk food from Yadi. All right.
Yes,
So
well,
we'll talk
blessings to you
after this.
both.
All right.
Yes,
all right.
man.
All right.
Take
We'll talk.
care. Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you, Terry.
I used to watch BET, MTV, VH1, now I watch Tempo. Soca, Calypso, Reggae Dance Hall. Don't stall, better get tuned in to the Tempo. Don't have cable, they got an app. Go to your app store, download that. Whether it's tourism, cuisine, or the social scenes, if it ain't Tempo, it's a rap. Who got the Caribbean views? Tempo. Mr. Latest in Caribbean news? Tempo. You tryna cook Caribbean food? Tempo. You know they got the music videos too? Tempo. Who got the Caribbean views? Tempo. Mr. Latest in Caribbean news? Tempo. You tryna cook Caribbean food? Tempo. You know they got the music videos too? Tempo.
Welcome to Tasters, everyone. Today we are having a special chef from Florida, Chef Irie, who actually, him and I worked together on 2 projects in the past 4 years. And he's an amazing chef, has a big personality, and is really, really, really a talented chef, of course, in the kitchen. Chef Irie and I, oh, there he is, there's my boy.
What's going on, Jess?
What's up? Happy belated birthday.
Why, thank you, thank you. You know, I'm still celebrating.
Oh, there you go. I love it. 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 So tell us, everyone. So Chef Irie, he comes down to St. Croix. He's, like I said, came down to St. Croix a couple times for our St. Croix Food and Wine Experience, which happens, of course, in April every year. And Chef Irie and I met, was it 3 years ago that we did Gourmet Vintner Dinner?
Possibly, yes.
Yeah, I think it was. So we did Gourmet Vintner Dinner together, and him and I just hit it off, and we had so much fun. And then the past year, unfortunately, we had to cancel Food and Wine Experience due to the COVID, of course, the pandemic. So, but Chef Irie was coming down too, and we were excited because we were going to do Sunset Barbecue together. Remember?
Awesome. Yes, yes.
So tell us a little bit about, tell our fans a little bit about you.
Ooh, there's too much to tell. No, I'm just joking. So, so I'm from Jamaica, born in Jamaica, and came here to the States, just like everybody else to do, better their life and all that, the whole experience. Went to school, got a degree in architecture.
Oh. I did not know that.
Yes, at the University of Florida here in Florida, and that lasted for a few years. And I said, you know what, I want to do something different. What that was, I wasn't sure, but I eventually I registered for culinary of all things, and I went to Johnson and Wales here in North Miami, and graduated, and that was 99, and here I am.
Right.
So, but been doing the professional chefing side for about 20, 21 years now. So that has afforded me, lots of different opportunities. One, to come down to the islands, which I love, because I see my peoples, and I get, introduced to not just meeting different chefs, but techniques and food and culture and all that good stuff. So whether it's, St. Croix, St. Lucia, Trinidad, Bahamas, Jamaica, yes, it's all good. So a couple of things have happened over the years. And one of the things that happened was that I was able to host one of the first Caribbean cooking shows on American Public Television, PBS, and it was also shown on Create TV.
Nice.
Called Taste the Islands. And we did 2 seasons, and we were gearing up to do a 3rd season. And of course, here comes Mr. COVID.
Right.
So, but what the cool thing for the 2 seasons, myself, I was in the 1st season, and then I was joined by Chef Tia from Haiti. So April this year, the cookbook for Taste the Islands came out.
I love it.
Yeah, so we have all the recipes for both seasons here in the book. So we got, and shows of all our guests that we had. That's right there is Maxi Priest on one of the episodes. So it's chock full of cool ingredients and recipes, and sort of little stories from about the some of the guests and stuff like that. So that's out. You can get that on Amazon. Yes. So I'm here in South Florida.
Real quick, go back to the cookbook. So we can get that cookbook on Amazon.
Yes, you can get the cookbook on Amazon. And
we were going to bring that down. Remember, for Food and Wine Experience, we were going to bring that down.
Yes, we're going to bring that down. Yeah.
And we were going to do it like an autograph signing at Undercover Books or something like that.
Look here, we can still do that the next time I'm down in St. Croix. I'm just saying. Yes. Okay. Yes. Yes. So here in South Florida, private chef caterer. Primarily do a lot of catering, and there are times when I'm doing private clients, just them alone. So my platform for food, it took me a while, I think, to get to that point where I really understood that Caribbean food and Caribbean ingredients is a part of me. It goes nowhere. And I think one of the things as chefs, you ultimately understand that your culinary identity often comes from that where you were from, and a lot of us, I think, try to deny it. We want to, we are exposed to different cuisines and different chefs, and we think that we must adopt, their style of cooking because that's what you're taught. But eventually, when it comes right down to it, it's inevitable. It's like a beast that wants to come out. And for me, Caribbean food, and Caribbean ingredients, and the Caribbean and learning more about our Caribbean heritage from the islands, learning from the different chefs, is an amazing thing. So I don't just cook Caribbean food, but Caribbean food and cuisine is definitely a big part of who I am. So even if I'm not cooking a full-blown Caribbean menu, something is, I don't even say I'm sneaking it in. I'm putting it in, but I'm making it very subtle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Right, so a little bit, little something.
Of course, a little something, something, you know.
So, Ari, this is our colleague Terry, who's chiming in from New York City.
What's going on, Terry?
I'm good. I'm looking at that Taste of the Island book. I'm ready. I'm all in.
You ready?
Always ready to eat. Oh.
You can't eat without a cocktail. Too. You can't eat without a cocktail. I'm just saying.
What is that like a?
It looks like mango.
Well, not quite. It could be though.
Okay. We're going to call it a mango or passion fruit.
Yes, mango, passion fruit. Actually, you know, all of those work for this cocktail. It's a really simple cocktail. Well, simple to me. So it's orange juice, sweet tea, vodka.
Sweet tea?
Yeah, sweet tea, vodka. And it has pumpkin simple syrup. Yeah, over the rocks.
Okay, pumpkin simple syrup.
I love it.
I would never do that in a cocktail. Okay.
So, were you listening earlier, Cherry, when I said that Irie and we work together on the St. Croix Food and Wine Experience that the St. Croix Foundation brings on every year?
Okay.
So I met him. We did gourmet vintner dinner, and what it is, it's 5 different chefs, and each chef gets a category.
Okay.
And then we do, so the chefs, give us a menu, and then we have the wine purveyor who sponsors it, Southern Glaciers, who is now CC1. They pair up the wines. So we did that, and then we do a live auction.
Oh,
remember that, Irie? Remember our live auction?
Live auction.
That sounds like fun.
And then after everyone has like 5 glasses of wine, and of course the chefs are in the kitchen drinking wine back there because they can't. They're our guest chefs.
Yeah.
So they come out and they're like throwing out private chef dinners, and the energy gets going, and we have a great time.
Yes, especially when you throw in a little Crucian rum. I'm just saying, hey.
So, do you remember what you did for the gourmet vintner dinner? What did we do? Do you remember?
Wow. I did. It was it was a mahi dish with grilled okra, like jerk mahi grilled okra. We did some type of. It wasn't callaloo, but I think it might have been spinach. I don't remember. And I have the dish around here somewhere. But it was awesome. It was awesome because we're able to get utilize everything that was on that plate was there from St. Croix. The fish
farm to table.
Fresh. Yeah, fish came in fresh. Butcher them down. Cut that bad boy up. So you're tasting. And when you get a chance to taste, like you said, from farm to table, seat to table, what have you. The food quality is amazing, so you don't have to it's like, oh my god, it was frozen or blah blah blah. One of the things that's crazy in the States is that when you go to the supermarket, and you're looking for fresh herbs and all that good stuff, you don't smell that stuff. But when you're in the islands and you walk into the markets, you can smell thyme, you can smell scallion, you can smell rosemary. You can smell the onions, and you're just like, you don't have to ask where. It's like,
well,
your nose.
And we Negus, remember Negus Kaza?
Negus, yes.
My boy. Our boy. So they got along really well, and I'm going to have Negus on Tasters, one of these weeks. So Negus was one of the other chefs, and he's from the islands as well. He's from St. Croix, but he actually relocated in Houston after after Maria. But Negus, it was funny because he helps me source because I have all these menus and we all have to source. But Irie's right. Like you go to the farmer's market and nothing's packed. I mean, it's all fresh. It's just with a roll of whatever, like a rubber band, and you can smell it, but the fish always would make me nervous, Irie, because I was like, okay, they have, thank God you had mahi, because mahi's easy to source because mahi runs through the oceans here all the time. But when people are like, I'm going to do wahoo, and I'm like, okay. So you got to put like 3 people on the wahoo, and I'm hoping that one gets it. Then sometimes you get 3 wahoos, but that's fine because who doesn't love wahoo? Or tuna. Tuna only runs so many times a year here.
Right.
So,
I'm learning something new. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, and like snapper, like we don't have snapper really in St. We do in St. Croix, but it's more indigenous. It's more in St. Thomas, to be honest with you. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Okay.
Irie. Well, Terry was like, I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I would, I would imagine so, because, and
The
snapper
water.
for the Caribbean, you probably get more, red snapper, during, especially during the summertime. We definitely get a lot of those here, because they run around that time of year. But given the temperature, depending on what's happening around the rest of the globe, will determine, how the runs, the fish runs go.
Right. That's right.
So sometimes you will get it, and sometimes you won't.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah,
So-
sometimes it can be feast or famine.
Right. So real quick, Irie, I'm like curious about like the cookbook, because I was thinking about coming out with a cookbook too, just like with my travels and like the places I went, St. Bart, St. Martin, and whatever. Like how long does that take? How long did it take you to like produce that cookbook with all the recipes and everything? I know you had a partner, right?
Yeah. So,
And is that like
yeah, I
How many
think
pages is it?
started when we started the whole efforts.
Okay.
The producer of the show, Khalib Thompson, executive producer and also partner on the book. Book came out in April, so it took literally nearly two plus years.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
because we went sort of an orthodox route. We
yeah.
yeah, right? Yeah.
Tell
Yeah,
us.
yeah. So we had a nonprofit printing company out of Gainesville, Florida Press. They do a lot of cookbooks, a lot of not just culinary books, but a lot just cookbooks and books in general.
Right.
So once we got all the agreement and stuff done, now it was to provide them with all the recipes and everything and the format, and they had to test and retest.
Oh yeah.
Because we had to go back and retest, because one of the things that happened in season one, as we were shooting the show, for me, I wasn't really telling people, how much of I'm putting into each dish. So we're shooting, and I'm like, yeah, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, boom, 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 and yeah, so they had to go back and to edit it to look at all the film. It's like, okay, let's see.
Wow, to see how many.
So that took extra time.
A tablespoon of this, and a teaspoon of that, and a dash of this. Oh,
exactly.
Okay.
So
I mean, you can't say a pinch, right?
Yes, you can say a pinch, but
but you can't say
We
like
wasn't saying a little bit of this.
But when you're doing cookbooks, one of the things about cookbooks is that
Measurement.
the recipes were what they were,
Right.
So it wasn't that we had created a show with the intention to make a cookbook, and most times, sometimes you're creating a cookbook, but the whole point of cookbooks is the not just the simplicity of the recipe, but how easy it is for people to either follow the recipes and actually want to make the dishes.
Right.
So if anybody's out there, looking to write a cookbook in the future, like now, I'm probably going to write, work on my own, but always now have to think, not just keep them really, it not necessarily have to be really super simple, but just, good enough for people to follow. And don't make it seem, too complicated.
Right.
That's what people want. They want, beautiful pictures and all that good stuff, and flavorful. You want to make it good.
Right.
Right.
So
Do you have a website? Because that's another way. I know sometimes I'm looking to make something that I've made before, but I'm just not sure. Like during the holidays, I wanted to do the apple pie a certain way, and I just Googled it and went through a couple of different recipes, and then ended up on people's website where they actually had, they had a little video of whatever I was trying to make. So do you guys have something like that?
So there's a website for the book, but I also have my own website, chefari.com, and
that's where people can find them, chefari.com.
Yeah, chefari.com. So we're getting ready to revamp it a little bit, to add, some of the stuff that you're talking about, the videos and stuff like that, and maybe some recipes. you know, that people can have access to. But, you know, through email, through website, through social media, you know, you can follow me on Instagram at I am Chef Irie.
Okay.
You know, so you can always reach out, DM me, hey, chef, I got a question for you. Because, you know, everybody's on social media now. And most people are on the gram. You know, some people are on Facebook, what have you. You know, I tend to sort of plop my butt, you know, a little bit down on Instagram. But, you know, when you're out, you know, working with clients, like I have clients coming up this weekend. It's Wednesday and even it's Saturday. I'm already starting to put myself in production mode.
That's right.
Because I have other things I need, you know, I have to get done. So it's all, you know, the whole time management thing, and even worse when you have multiple events. So you have to really, you know, put yourself in that headspace, you know, to want to get things done. Right, you know, keeping abreast of your recipes, keeping abreast of, you know, how you're gonna get and execute, you know, said events, you know. So chef life is not just about cooking and being on social media and all that good stuff, but it's all of that, you know. It entails all of that now.
Right.
Before you could just like, I go to the restaurant, I'm a chef at the restaurant, I'm a cook at the restaurant, you know, and that's what I want to do. But now you have to be, you know, mainstream, you know, broadening out your horizons, you know, in so many different ways. One, yes, to be seen. Two, to be heard. You know, that's so, you know, it's almost as if, you know, you're constantly, you know, staying relevant, you know, for yourself and for the food that you're actually cooking. You know, so you know, always trying to reinvent yourself, reinvent the food you're doing. You know, not just for yourself but for your clients as well.
Okay.
So are your clients, are they like reoccurring clients?
A lot of times, yes.
Yeah.
A lot of times, yes. And you know, always getting new clients too. Like I said, you know, I do private catering and private clients.
Right.
So the private catering is probably, you know, my bread and butter, you know, because you know, that's what happens. And then there are times when I do have, you know, private clients for individual where you may do short stints, or you may have people that come in like, you know, staying at an Airbnb. They may be staying for a couple of days, they may be staying for a week or 2 weeks. Maybe you get that client and you're the chef for them for a week or two. So that's how, you know,
Terry,
your private.
wouldn't that be nice?
Yes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we're going next Thanksgiving.
Right, exactly.
I my own private chef, Irie.
Absolutely. And we have some wine pairing on the side, and then we have cookies on the other.
Too. Yeah. Make cocktails for the clients, you know. So you got all kinds of different clientele.
So when you're doing your events, I mean, you have like, do you have like a sous chef in like a server on staff to obviously, right? Or are you just dropping off? Are they watching you in the kitchen? Are they engaging in conversations with you?
So all of that can be done for, you know, all the different clientele.
Oh, so you individualize the packages then?
Yeah, individualize the package. So a client can say, hey, you know, especially now where people are just very mindful. So it could be, okay, we want this, but could you drop it off?
Right.
Or this, can you, you know, like the wedding, I'm doing a wedding for 4 people this Saturday coming up, and I'm doing it in their home. So, you know, I'm going to be cooking, you know, all the dishes and stuff in the house. And then you'll have something bigger, maybe 20 people, 25 people, 50 people, whatever it is. And so, you know, you can say, okay, yes, we need servers, we need bartenders, we need, you know, photographers, we need rentals, we need florists, you know, blah, blah, blah. So sometimes it is just a drop off, and sometimes it's soups and nuts, you know, where they want everything and you cater, you know, to the client's needs. Yes, it events, you know, have sous chefs, cooks, you know, whether it's a one cook, one server, you know, several cooks, several servers and bartenders. So you name it, you know, we provide it all.
And so if one is looking for this service, they can go on to chefirie.com, and then they can book a package, individualized package based on the number of individuals that want your service. So say if we're doing a group of 4, then you can say we want 4, give a date, and they'll be able to Excellent. Okay, that's
Yeah,
good.
there's a questionnaire form on the website. You know, go through and contact us, what have you.
Okay,
So
awesome.
basically, that gives me a general idea of what you would need. You talk about your needs, your cuisine, your budget, everything. Number of people, venue, all that good stuff.
Okay,
we are about out of time, Chef Irie, but just real quick, like people that are traveling to Florida, like what is your range?
In terms of what types of food?
Chefing.
Oh, yeah.
Like where do you guys, where's your reach?
Oh, my range. The range, where we go.
Carrie and I need to know where we're flying into.
Exactly.
Have venue, will travel. So that's why they make automobiles and trains and planes.
Okay.
So, but yes, I'm located in Fort Lauderdale, but we've gone down to the Keys. We've gone out of state. We've gone up, further up into Florida. So pretty much whatever the client is wanting and we can accommodate, we definitely do that. If they're they're saying, we're going to be here and that's what they will pay for, we're there. So I don't limit myself to the client and travel. No, let's get paid, baby.
Well, it's funny because I'd be like, hey, Chef Irie, you want to come down to St. Croix? And he's like, be there tomorrow.
Yeah,
Are you there?
I never,
All right, I think we're running out of time. But thank you so much.
Thank you. Enjoy your cocktail.
I will, and if I don't speak to you guys again, Merry Christmas when it comes.
Happy holidays to you as well.
Happy holidays. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Terry.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.